I'm terribly sorry I can't be sitting with you today, but I'm very grateful to Joe Levine and OTS for letting me appear before you, briefly, at least in this manner. And my mind goes back with crystal clarity to those evenings in Coral Gables when I was one of the two Harvard representatives, with pairs coming from, as I recall, something like 20 other organizations, mostly universities and colleges, 50 years ago. We stayed in a motel right next to a nice canal where I stole a lot of time just to watch the fish working their way around a outflow pipe. A lovely little coffee shop where we had breakfast and so on. And we shared a great need and mission together and came to a conclusion rather quickly that something like the Organization for Tropical Studies was badly needed. Certainly I had that feeling. As a young faculty member at Harvard, I was newly married, but I desperately wanted to get back in the field. And I knew that with a family that it's not easy to do. If you could do the kind of field work I'd been doing, hammocks or sleeping on the ground in New Guinea and places like that. Incidentally, I have worn my jungle shirt, my field shirt that I wore in recent field trips to Vanuatu, New Caledonia, and also to the Gorongosa National Park in Mozambique. Once a naturalist, always a naturalist. And I'm really happy and proud that I could continue research, serious research, in those faraway places, similar to the ones that I was able to do also in the early days of OTS. But at any rate, to return to my own motivation, I knew that we badly needed, among many other programs and initiatives and concepts, we needed field stations like the one that OTS could provide, where individuals, particularly with families or groups of individuals that needed a mix of requirements, living requirements and so on, could come with a minimum of initial paperwork and difficulty and searching and planning, and settle down for a few days, a week, maybe a couple of months, doing serious work in the field. I wasn't active in OTS after that initial meeting, in the sense that I joined in the organization's setting up and administration and strategic planning. But I certainly began to enjoy the fruits of this wonderful organization, and particularly the field station at La Selva, not too long after. In the early 70s, when I first came with Bert Holdobler to La Selva to work on ants. And very little had been done on any of the key neotropical genera of ants, which swarm in La Selva, being a rainforest setting. And Bert and I spent 1 week in our first trip there and came back with material for 5 pretty good papers, original papers of research, 5. Everything we found turned to gold. And I might add, just as one quick story, one of the things we found was the first ant which unmistakably was mimicking a Nasut termite, which are, for predators at the size of insects anyway, formidable opponents. And we found the nest. Actually, Bert was the one that found it at about head level, not far up the trail, off one of the trails of La Selva. And there was no question as we watched it respond to disturbance that the soldiers had the coloration of the head, which made them look a little bit like Nasut termite soldiers, and that their way of running out looked very much like termites, Nasut termite soldiers running out when their nest is disturbed in the trees. And we were very excited by this discovery. I later named that species Phaidole nasutoides. And then committed a blunder. I didn't put moist paper in the bag where we had the colony, and they died. So out we went and searched, and we couldn't find another colony. And in subsequent trips, I searched and searched. I couldn't find another colony. And then I sent a notice down and posted it showing a drawing of Phaidole nasutoides. And I said, please, 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 find this ant if you possibly can. No less a person than Jack Longino, a world champion ant collector, was told, please find it. He didn't. And that ant to this day is known only from that one colony. That's the joy, one of the joys of tropical biology. You will find things when you go out that are important and grab hold of all the data you can, get on them, because that may be the last time you'll see them for a long time, or anyone for months or years, because the wonders are never ceasing.